Welcome everyone to another episode of the Yapdom Hearts podcast. Here I am joined with my co-host, Sleepy Rigatoni. I forgot his name. Oh my god, I can't believe I forgot your name. And Sleepy Macaroni. Oh boy. You know what? I was like, I don't know if I want to record an episode today. I'll probably hold off and record a different day because I was like, I'm a little sleepy. But cameras are already on. Let's do this. Let's record a podcast episode. That sounds like a fantastic idea, if I do say so myself. So we're back here again to talk about more Kingdom Hearts stances. I got a lot of stances from people, so I honestly could do so many more episodes just talking about this kind of stuff. And I might honestly do it for a while. I honestly really enjoy just talking about Kingdom Hearts, obviously. Who would have guessed? Uh but I I hope I left off. I kind of have a general idea of where I left off. There's some comments here that I'm not sure if maybe I've already answered. So I might touch on these again. It's been a minute since I recorded that last episode. So hopefully there's not too many repeats. I don't think so. I think there's like a few where I'm uncertain if I've talked about it in the previous podcast episode or in just a completely different video altogether. All right. So the first comment or first stance we have for this episode is KH3 shouldn't have ditched the forms. Get rid of the rides. The key transformations are cool, but the rides were too much. I didn't use the rides at all in Kingdom Hearts 3 beyond the very first time when you first find them out in the wild. You're like, ooh, what is this? You try it out. I was like, cool. Never used it again. I don't personally find them fun. I don't find them enjoyable. Everybody said that, or not everybody, but a lot of people said that they were very OP and that they felt obligated to use it. I personally do not agree with that. I feel like if it's OP, you have all the power in the world to not use it. Unless there's a scenario where you're like stuck somewhere and you're like, oh, I have to unfortunately use one of the rides. Then it's like I get that. Maybe you didn't want to feel like you had to be in a scenario where you had to use the rides no matter what, but I don't know. I thought it was kind of silly whenever I would hear that stance because it's like you don't have to do it anything you don't want to do in Kingdom Hearts. I don't guard. I don't like guarding because I'm really bad at timing. Okay. Oh, the random cat here just float on by. um, I don't like guarding. I'm terrible timing wise. I've gone through every single game without guarding on both normal and crit. The only exception is that on the KH3 data battles in Yuzora, I did guard because there's no way to get past those without guarding. And I had to learn legitimately, went through my entire Kingdom Hearts career, never guarding, except for very few scenarios. I don't know if you want to count Reflect in KH2 as equivalent of being as guard or like in a fragmentary passage. They also have Reflect in there as well. I feel like it's more easier to like implement or to pull those guards off with Reflect versus just the normal, you know, holding up your keyblade and timing it and whatnot. Uh I don't like guarding. I take guarding off all the time. I take off all guarding abilities. So I never have to um debate where I'm going to use my AP because it's just like if there's a skill that has guard, I'm not using it. So all my AP goes to everything else. So also, in case anybody's not aware, I don't know if this is in every game. I know this is in a handful of them. That if you stand still while guarding, you do a dodge roll. So normally you would have to walk and do a dodge roll, or to go into a dodge roll, but if you stand still and you try guarding and you take guarding off, then you do a dodge roll. So I just dodge rolled my way to victory for a lot of these games. On that note, I don't see why the rides were forced down people felt like it was forced down people's throats. I didn't like them either. I think in my second playthrough, my crit playthrough, I turned them off just to start. Beyond the moments, obviously, like the train segments, you have to do those. You can't avoid that whatsoever. But I think if I could turn them off, or if I did turn them off, I did turn them off. Or if they did pop up, I just never used them, honestly. I just never had it. I don't find them fun. I don't find it fun because I like being able to swing the Keyblade. So, and this even goes to like the toy box world with the mecha. I don't like the mecha robots segment, but unfortunately, those mecha robots are way too strong to fight just with your Keyblade. So I would have to uh, uh, unbegrudge what oh my god, what was the word? Unbegrudgedly to me. That's the word I was trying to say. Would get in the robot and fight the other robots. Um, if it were up to me, that's another, I guess, scenario. If it were up to me, I wouldn't want to. I would rather just fight it with like summons or a Keyblade. I find that the most fun. At least the summons are like obviously not swinging a Keyblade, but you're still having. I don't know. It feels more. It feels more in line with what I expect with Kingdom Hearts. Is the best way that I can explain it. Versus just getting in a robot and then having like blast, blast, punch, punch, dash, you know? It doesn't feel as like fluid. It doesn't feel as nice as where you just sort of like ride on Simba and then you just hop over everybody or you fight alongside Genie in like Kingdom Hearts 2. The forms, I'm not sure what they mean specifically in this comment because forms were in Kingdom Hearts 3 unless they meant the Kingdom Hearts 2 forms. Um, which I mean, to be honest, I was okay with what they had in Kingdom Hearts 3. They could have brought them back, sure. I don't see. I mean, they kind of did with some of the Keyblades, but I think it's good to switch things up. So I personally don't feel like they needed to bring the forms. I think what they had, the transformations were fine. Personally, the rides, again, don't you don't need to use them if you don't want to use them. Don't feel obligated like you have to use them. Um, but yeah, no, I like the key transformations. I have no comments on those. Kingdom Hearts is notorious for never really repeating the same thing over and over again. That's why a lot of people don't like Kingdom Hearts 3 is because they wanted it to be like Kingdom Hearts 2, but not realizing that if you've played Chain of Memories, Days, Birth by Sleep, Recoded, Dream Drop Distance, that all five of those games are vastly different from one another. And even comparing Kingdom Hearts 1 to Kingdom Hearts 2 are vastly different from one another. Every Kingdom Hearts entry, for the most part, is vastly different from the prior or previous entries, or it's a similar structure with certain features from other games that get implemented into it. Like Kingdom Hearts 3 took a lot from the other games. So it's more like they took the skeleton of like 1 and 2 and then took bits and pieces from all the other games, the non-numbered games, and then put them together into one game. Well, yeah, I mean that's my 2 cents on that stance. Yeah, I don't have anything else to add on to that. Oh boy, this next one. They need to bring back the Final Fantasy characters in the Kingdom Hearts games. I feel like I might have covered this one in the last one. They don't. I know they're cool. I know they're cool. If they can bring them back, they should, right? But if there is no reason to bring them back, then there is no point to bring them back. Simple and clean. Simple and clean. Their story finished up in Kingdom Hearts 2. There is nothing left for Aerith, Yuffie, Sid, Leon. Maybe Cloud and Sephiroth could come back. Like I wouldn't be against if they were to like done some DLC and put like a Sephiroth fight in Kingdom Hearts 3. I think that would have been pretty cool. But Maybe it's possible that Nomura wants to continue the Cloud Sephiroth storyline and couldn't come up with anything in 3, or maybe they just didn't have enough time, because you always have to remember they had to restart production on 3. That's why it took so long for us to get Kingdom Hearts 3. So there could have been a lot of things that we could have gotten in Kingdom Hearts 3 that they just did not have time to implement. Arendelle is a great example. I know I've covered this in the previous episode, is that I feel like Arendelle is in a scenario of like an unfortunate circumstance of a world where they probably had a different concept in mind, and probably at some point had to scrap. I don't know if it was pre restarting or if it was post restarting. It's very clear that that world was pieced together in a way that it's not traditionally pieced together, and that's what we got. Possible that maybe we were supposed to get Final Fantasy characters in Kingdom Hearts 3. We technically did with the DLC, as we did see Sid, Yuffie, Aerith, and Leon or Squall return. Or no, Leon. Yeah, Leon's what he's called in this game. Squall's what he's called in his actual game. Um, they returned, and they had like that one moment where like Sid's playing on the computer and he creates data Sora in the data battles. So, like, I understand at that point, it's really at that point, all you really needed is Sid. Yuffie, Aerith, and Leon didn't provide anything beyond just sort of just being there. And it just, I guess, sort of is a package deal with Sid, you know? It's like they all kind of hang out with one another. So it was just sort of like, oh, well, if we're going to put one guy in, we're going to put, the other three in as well. So you get a package deal. And again, that really goes to show you of like it took really just that computer sequence, because if it wasn't for the fact that they wanted to put in the data battles, there would be literally no other way for them to implement those characters coming in there. I mean, I guess it's always possible that maybe Ienzo or Pence could have found the data battles, but I think it works better with Sid just being like, "Oops, I accidentally found this information and I accidentally created this whole arena, this whole thing of characters to fight each other in." I think that's more I think that's more perfect for Sid of all the characters, all the computer characters to come across. Just the fact that it was, like, super hard fights, and he was just like, "I don't know what I did. I'm just a I'm just a man's man out here with this computer. I don't know what's going on here. Battalion 13." But, yeah, no, I would love to see more Final Fantasy characters, I really do. I just don't feel like we need them. When the first game came out, they were used as a springboard to bring people in because Kingdom Hearts was new. Final Fantasy had been around for a minute. They obviously used the big names like 10, 8, 7. But post KH2, mind you, the third game in the series, KH2, story wrapped up, and then they popped up maybe a few times. Usually Cloud, just rinse repeat the Cloud story from Olympus Coliseum over and over again, and then Zack and Birth by Sleep. And Zack and Birth by Sleep was the last time we got a new character. It has been well over a decade at this point. We haven't gotten a new character. I guess maybe there was some expectations for the number titles to have some sort of tradition. You kind of got it in the DLC, like I said, but no, I personally don't feel like the Final Fantasy characters need to come back. They also, shameless plug, and this is why I also feel like I mentioned this in the last episode, is I have a video on my YouTube channel of every cutscene Final Fantasy characters are featured in, and it's only 2 hours long. There are 2 hours, maybe like 2.5, 3 hours worth of content through all 12 games of Final Fantasy characters. The entirety of the Kingdom Hearts story is like 16 hours worth of story content if you remove all of the filler of the Disney worlds. And only, I would even say maybe that's not even probably even, that's probably 2 hours of filler. I don't remember off the top of my head if any of that is really important or not. I don't think it is. But either way, if it were important, it's only just a small fraction of the overall story. And that's not even counting total playtime. If we focus total playtime of all 12 games, put them together, it's a fucking drop in the bucket. It's a drop in the bucket. They are not that important. There's over 70 different Kingdom Hearts characters at this point that we could spend more time focusing on, talking on, exploring, learning, growing with. The Final Fantasy characters have their own game. Let the Kingdom Hearts characters thrive in their own game. And then, I really, that's all I have to say in that. I personally, like, I get it. I do. I'm kind of like, I would like to see Lightning. I think seeing Lightning would be cool. Maybe Kamari, Yuna. Or no, we already saw Yuna. Who else from 10? I would love to see Auron again. Auron's one of my favorite characters, video game characters of all time. I would love to see Auron again. But again, don't really need them to be there. Um, it's not a requirement in my honest opinion. A YouTuber mentioned we should have Ventus and Aqua in our party for Pirates and Frozen, so they could be ready for the final battle. Also, side missions. See, I'm not necessarily against that. I feel like having them with us sooner would have probably been better than kind of bringing them on last minute and just throwing them into the fray. But the thing is that Aqua's technically been training in the Realm of Darkness for however long she was down there for. Like, I know she was there for 10 years, but she wasn't, like, actually, like, experiencing 10 years. Like, whatever the time in the Realm of Darkness is like, maybe, like, a week. Would you say, like, a week is every, like, year or something like that? So maybe she was there for, like, 2 months or something in, like, the Realm of Darkness time. Uh, Ventus was literally just like, I went to sleep and birthed by sleep, and I woke up directly in Kingdom Hearts 3 like nothing ever happened. So you could honestly argue to say that they were already like ready to go. Like Ventus was more like, "Hey, I saved the game. I came back 10 years later, but I'm still good. I remember everything. Like my save file's still here. I'm just going to continue off the save file." This isn't like a scenario like with Sora where he keeps finding himself in scenarios where he keeps forgetting his abilities and his prior experiences. Literally one was continuously training, without even really having a choice to, and the other one was just essentially taking a nap, but as far as he was aware, he's like maybe only 5 minutes or like a full 8 hours had passed for Ventus. And he's like, "Oh, I just woken from my just quick slumber and now I'm ready to go." Is that, I mean, you do kind of see at some points where it's like maybe they're not fully like ready for like the whole combat scene because I think after they saved Terra, there was a moment where Ventus was like so tired that he almost like collapsed. But again, he also went through a lot because he was like in that chain attack and just being like whipped around everywhere. So I could definitely see him being tired from that, let alone him being like exhausted for sleeping for 10 years, which in reality, they should be tired. But because this is a Disney fictional fantasy game, they're not tired. They're just they do their 80-hour shift and then they're ready for their opening shift literally 2 hours later because that's just how anime adjacent characters are. They're just, I mean, if you've seen any shonen anime, literally a lot of the is a character will be beaten to a pulp and then he just keeps getting back up. He just he'll keep getting back up. And they don't care. They'll just keep fighting. They're just like, this is my purpose. I'm here to fight. And that also goes to the Kingdom Hearts characters as well. So I think it would be cool if we did find them earlier because all it really took was us to find Aqua to find Ventus. So if we could have had that segment sooner, that would have been cool. But I think it's also just the fact that like they weren't gonna put anybody else with Sora as a party member in a number titled game. I think the only time that you could get away with that is in a non-number titled game. I think that's like the one requirement is that if you have a numbered title game, then it has to have Sora, Donald, and Goofy. Or maybe it just has to have Donald and Goofy as a party member, and then maybe it's just someone else. It's just Donald, Goofy, insert Kingdom Hearts character is maybe all it takes. Um, so I don't think this is also something I didn't think about back, I think in the last episode when I think we talked about Kairi and Riku being on the team, is that also falls in the same spectrum. I guess maybe alternatively they could have had Donald, Goofy, Sora, and then Riku, Kairi, or Aquaventus, but I don't know. I feel like either way, the way they did it in the game and the way this person's stance is painting the picture. I like both of them. I wouldn't have been against either of them, to be honest. Yeah. No, I maybe if I had to pick, I mean, obviously this stance, I would like that. I would like more time to spend with Aqua and Ventus and other characters because that's the one thing I've been striving for is just to see more times, more instances of these characters talking and hanging out with one another. That's what I want so badly with Kingdom Hearts 4. I just want everybody to hang out and talk to each other and just have fun and have witty banter and dialogue and joke around and I go to worlds together, hang out, do stuff. I want that so badly. So I would definitely have to pick this stance if I had to say. I'm okay with either or. If I had to cast my vote, it's definitely going to be with this stance. KH3 was a letdown considering the wait. I don't agree with that. Kingdom Hearts 3 is my all-time favorite Kingdom Hearts game. I honestly, that ending to me will never be a letdown. And I think a lot of it has to do with your perspective on Kingdom Hearts, right? Because if you're somebody who doesn't care too much about like the main story, or maybe you only focused on like the number titles and you didn't play the non-number titles, I could see why it was a letdown because there's like a big jump in like information that you're missing out on, and maybe the game didn't do its due diligence on like filling you in. Maybe you don't like the fact that you were required to play Chain of Memories, Days, Coded, Dream Drop Distance, Birth by Sleep, Union Cross, a fragmentary passage, 7 games prior to playing Kingdom Hearts 3. Did I say Coded? I said Coded, right? If I didn't, then Coded as well. Even though that's probably the one game that's optional. You didn't need to play. Other than understanding the very beginning of the Twilight Town sequence when Donald and Goofy compared real Sora to data Sora. And they did talk about the datascape as well in that world later on with Jiminy bringing it up. But beyond that, it's I mean technically also because Maleficent brings up the Book of Prophecies in Recoded, so but that's more in the movie and less in and less in the actual game because that was the added scene that they put in there. So I guess in that aspect, you would have had to have either played the game or watched the movie. Preferably, probably do both. If you Well, no, you could have watched the movie. It would have. You didn't need to play the game and watch the movie. But yeah, no, I don't agree with this. I personally feel like if any game is a letdown, it's Melody of Memories because Kingdom Hearts is a bit of a standard, I would say, of what to expect with an entry. In the minimum you would do for an entry is a fragmentary passage. A fragmentary passage is about a 2 to 3 hour tech demo, and that was fine. That was completely fine. You could literally just do that again, and I would be okay. Melody of Memories did not showcase. Well, okay, it showcased characters interacting with one another, but not to the extent that you would expect from a Kingdom Hearts game. For a Kingdom Hearts game to just be a full recap game and the recap not be a side feature to the game, I, I don't personally agree with it. I think it's a fun game. I do enjoy it. I just feel like we could have had dream versions of these characters bringing Kyrie through a sort of retelling of events, and then we could go into the rhythm portions, and then you know play the songs and all that stuff. I feel like the game itself is fine. It just needed an additional story element to it, but instead all the story stuff was put at the very end, which is, to be honest, kind of traditional Kingdom Hearts, because a lot of it is you have your story beats in the beginning, you have your story beats at the end, and then everything in the middle is just you going to Disney Worlds and then messing around. Although there are some games like Dark Road and Birth by Sleep that do a good job at integrating the story throughout the um the games itself. So I won't say all of them are. Some do it better than others. I'll put it at that. But yeah, honestly, I've I view Kingdom Hearts 3 as a stepping stone. I think that's another thing, is that a lot of people viewed Kingdom Hearts 3 as like the ultimate finale of the series. And then when they played it, and then they're like, oh, there's a lot of information here that I don't understand, but I've sort of pieced it together. And then you're like, oh, wait, this isn't the end? Like, there's more? We waited for all of this? And they're continuing past this. I think that's where a lot of people feel like they were let down, because they're like, oh shit, I thought I could just play 1, 2, and 3 and then just finally put an end to Kingdom Hearts. Be like, I've completed all of Kingdom Hearts. I did it. I've victorious. But not realizing that Kingdom Hearts is a continuous experience that has produced 12 games and a short film with back cover, 13 different entries within the series. Technically, if you 13 entries but 12 games, and then Missing Link will be our 13th game, and then Kingdom Hearts 4 potentially our 14th game. So we'll have to see, unless anything else comes out in between, which I don't think so. I think it's probably going to be Missing Link up until Kingdom Hearts 4, I would say. And then Missing Link will probably, servers will shut down, and then we'll probably get another mobile game. I'm over the mobile games at this point. I want another Days. I want another Birth by Sleep, a Dream Drop Distance. But I don't think you could really put a game like that out on a PS5. I maybe on the Switch you could get away with it. Like, I don't know. I just wish there was another way to do this other than gotcha games. I would be okay with it being on the mobile phone, as long as it was like an actual like story experience, like just wasn't gotcha. Like, just release maybe episodes. I would be okay with episodes, just have me buy the game and then have updates like maybe every month or something like that. I don't know. I don't know. I just don't like this whole being like drip fed bits and pieces of information. I'm sure it's going to be fun though, because I enjoyed Union Cross. I don't think the combat in Union Cross was like the best combat, but it was fun to be able to play the game with other people. So I will at least be excited for that. I will never knock a mobile game, or at least allow me to play with other Kingdom Hearts fans. And now that I have a platform and I've made so many friends through content creating who are also Kingdom Hearts fans, like, it's gonna be fun to have another game this time around and getting to play with them and whatnot. And seeing how we can all help each other out, and what kind of, like, even if we make content out of it, that'd be pretty cool too. But yeah, no, Kingdom Hearts, I feel like this is the same instance with like any game in the series. It's really just your overall stance of what you want out of Kingdom Hearts. And as a fan who's been a fan for a very long time, this is one of my all-time favorite series. I could honestly say that every game up until Melody of Memories, which just so happens to be the last game that came out, has been perfect. Has pushed the story, the narrative, everything's been good. Everything's been great. We've been fed well. Um Melody of Memories could have had more meat on the bone, but I would say it's a small blimp on what's to come. But we'll see. Who knows? Maybe this is a downward trajectory for Kingdom Hearts, and every game from here is going to be awful. But as far as I'm aware, I think that we got to the point where a lot of the characters reunited. That is like a peak, like, point in the story. Like, that's something that we've been waiting for so long, and why Kingdom Hearts 3 is my favorite is because of that reunion. Literally the very end where they're all on the beach. Like that is what we've been waiting for over 2 decades at this point. Was that moment. And now Sora's not in there, so now you have to get Sora back. And that, like I said, is this is the new chapter at this point. Kingdom Hearts 3 was a stepping stone. And I think what it is Kingdom Hearts 4 is going to be the game that people are going to play and they're going to be like, this is what I wanted out of Kingdom Hearts 3. Mark my fucking words. When Kingdom Hearts 4 comes out, all the people who said Kingdom Hearts 3 was a letdown, they're going to play Kingdom Hearts 4 and they're going to be like, why couldn't Kingdom Hearts 3 be like this? And it's because Kingdom Hearts 4 is going to have the foretellers, the master of masters. It's going to cover story elements of the dandelions, probably the foretellers that were not the foretellers, the Keyblade wielders that were turned into Dream Eaters that Sora saved at the end of Dream Drop Distance. There's going to be so much action, so much going on, so much story. It's going to be such a beefy epic, and that everyone's going to be like, this is what I would have wanted from 3, but not realizing that we could not have had this until we did 3. Like we needed 3 to do what 3 did in order for us to go to 4. Tony didn't agree with that. Tony's just like, I'm over hearing you talk about KH3. He's a KH3 hater. That's Scuzz. You think you know a guy. You think you know a guy. But yeah, I think overall, take what you want out of Kingdom Hearts. I just feel like viewing it out of one perspective is not always the best. I could even say my perspective is flawed. Like I could be more objective, which I am. I would say I am. I talk shit on Melody of Memories. Like I could go on a whole rant about why I dislike Melody of Memories, which I'm sure I probably have in the last episode or have in some prior video. Um I'm sure maybe it'll even get brought up here. Like if we if we get another comment about a game being let down, I'll go into my stances on Melody of Memory. I just don't want to repeat too much because I honestly can't remember. I talk about Melody of Memory so many times that I can't remember where exactly I've talked about it. And so again, I'm not trying to like add on more length to a video to where I talk about something I've already talked about. I'm trying to be at least conscious of how much I yap about things. But I don't know, I got a lot to say about Melody of Memories. And if it gets to a point where I talk about it literally in every episode, I will probably eventually get to that point and just do that. Just so people are aware and people are clear of what my stance is. Uh but yeah, just I think it's good to be critical of the games. Like I said, I'm critical on Melody of Memories. And shit, I'll even say I'm critical on Dark Road. Dark Road, fantastic story. Best implementation of Disney within the Kingdom Hearts universe. Terrible combat. Worst combat. I didn't think you could get worse than Chain of Memories. But I would play Chain of Memories any day of the week over Dark Road. There's other things that I could go on about with all the other entries, but I'll leave it at that. Is that it's good to criticize, but it's also good to look at it from the angle of like, if you think it's a letdown, maybe reevaluate why you think it's a letdown, and then sort of see it from another person's perspective to see why maybe you might be viewing it in that way, and a lot of people sort of view it in a different way, and then see if that changes your perspective. If it doesn't, that's fine. I just think it's good to just take in a lot of different stances and sort of see where people are coming from. Because if somebody literally had a solid point into why Kingdom Hearts 2 was the worst game in the entire franchise, and they made some solid points, I would consider, I would be like, yeah, no, that makes sense to me. But, you know, Kingdom Hearts 2 is an S tier game. Kingdom Hearts 3 is an S tier game. And honestly, those are probably the only 2 games I would put in the S tier. The other games are great. They're A tier, B tier. I would never say probably Melody of Memories and I don't know, because it's like Dark Road and Chain of Memories have awful combat, but they have fantastic stories. So it's hard for I probably put them in C. I did a tier list. I did an episode of the podcast a while ago where I did a tier list of all the games. I have to go. I wish I could remember off the top of my head. I'm sure I could look it up, but Um, yeah, just uh, just wait for Kingdom Hearts 4. If you don't like Kingdom Hearts 3, I'm almost banking on it. I feel like Kingdom Hearts 4 is going to be just the piece de resistance. I don't know if it's going to be the final game or not, but we'll see. We'll see. But to see what Missing Link brings us, that was the thing. If you played Union Cross, you knew that Kingdom Hearts 3 was not going to be it. Like, you knew there was more to it because the moment Kingdom Hearts 3 finished and the foretellers were saved until the very end, you're like, oh boy, there's more to come. There is more to come, especially with what you know from Union Cross. And you're just like, there's so many more characters that we did not get to touch on. Even the meeting with Zemnis, Demix, Larxene, Marluxia, and Luke Shord also teased at more stuff of what to come, as what's to come. I love Kingdom Hearts. Kingdom Hearts is great. KH3 should have had Birth by Sleep mechanic of 3 different stories: Kairi, Riku, and Sora. Uh, See, here's the thing. I did say that Kingdom Hearts doesn't like to repeat mechanics and gimmicks that they've implemented in prior games. I don't think a numbered title would have done that. I'm going to be completely honest. I think allowing you to play as the other characters is about as much as they'll do, but changing it to the point where it's multiple stories, I think that is more of a gimmick that's saved for a non-number titled game. Just like how the Sora Donald Goofy is reserved for the number title games, and then the non-number title tends to be like Sora by himself in Castle Oblivion, but like technically with Donald and Goofy, but they're not with him by his side. And then like coded is Data Sora, and then Birth by Sleep is the individual characters. Days is Roxas with whoever. Do I think that they should have had it? I think it would have been cool, but at the same time, I don't know what substance that either Kairi or Riku could have provided to fill in an entire storyline, because Sora went to different worlds and the Birth by Sleep trio went to different worlds. Kairi was only in two worlds, three worlds. He was in the forest, the mysterious tower, and then the Keyblade graveyard, and I guess technically Destiny Islands. But no traveling, no fighting other Heartless. And then Riku talked to the people in oh my god, I almost said Reddit Gardens, Radiant Gardens, and then went to the mysterious tower, the Dark World, and then the Keyblade graveyard. Like, there's not enough substance there. Like, you could have argued to say that maybe there could have been a Kyrie Axel storyline, and that they went to like a few different worlds, and that would have been cool. And then maybe halfway alternate to a Mickey Riku storyline where they also went to other worlds and like went and explored prior worlds and see if they could find clues or whatnot. But again, I don't know what else he could have done, because it wouldn't have really made sense to make a whole different world for only those characters to explore. I think it would have been cool though. I just feasibly don't see how they could have made that work. Um, I would have liked to seen it though. I would have liked to seen it. More content is always good content. I just, from my perspective, could not see them doing anything like that. But again, if we get a non-number titled game, I'm all for it. I'm all for like a seven a seven storyline uh gimmick. I'm all for it. I just, realistically, when I look at a number title, you kind of know what you're gonna get. Kind of like when you look at a main series Pokemon game, it's like you know what you're gonna get. They're not gonna deviate. That's just how it is. It's gonna have the same general structure. But a side game for Pokemon, not Kingdom Hearts. There are no side games in Kingdom Hearts. But Pokemon, it could go any direction. You could be a Coliseum, you could be a Gale of Darkness, you could be a Legends Arceus or Legends ZA, however they want to go about it. Poke Park, That's a thing. Uh, yeah. So just, I guess, I don't know. I guess my expectations. We've had 12 games at this point. I just know what to expect, and it's hard for me to be like, no, no, they should do that, and it's like, yeah, maybe I would like them to, but I don't have any expectations that they will. Kingdom Hearts 3 was by far the biggest letdown in video game history. Let me tell you about Melody of Memories. Let me tell you about Melody of Memories. I said I wasn't going to talk about it until a comment showed up, and I glanced through a lot of these comments when I made this initial post, and this was on here a lot of people bashing Kingdom Hearts 3. Let me tell you about Melody of Memories, okay? Melody of Memories is a recap game that does not recap all of the Kingdom Hearts games. It only recaps up until, okay, so it recaps 1, Chain of Memories, 2, Days, Coded. Wait, I missed one. Kingdom Hearts 1, Chain of Memories, 2, Days, Coded, Birth by Sleep, Dream Drop Distance, and a Fragmentary Passage. And then Kingdom Hearts 3, 9 games. No Union Cross, no Dark Road. Right, so that's 9 games, 10, 11. What am I missing? No back cover. No, I'm missing a game. Kingdom Hearts 1, Chain of Memories, Kingdom Hearts 2, Coded, Days, Birth by Sleep, Dream Drop Distance. Fragmentary Passage, Kingdom Hearts 3, Union Cross, Dark Road. Oh, duh. Obviously, it's not going to cover Melody of Memories in the Melody of Memories game. Okay, so it only covered 9 out of the 11 games, right? So no Dark Road, no Union Cross. Union Cross, I'm going to say this with my full chest right now, is the most important game in the entire franchise. I do not care if people say that nobody played that game. I do not care if people say that it is a mobile game. Union Cross is the most important game in the entire series for events that are to come. We are going to be this characters and the story is going to be so integral for Kingdom Hearts 4 and probably even Missing Link. Like there was so much influence of Union Cross within Kingdom Hearts 3 alone. Like it's crazy how much it gets disregarded. I literally, like, the people who know play the games, they know, they get it. They get it. It just blows my mind how there's so many people who are just like, I do not care. And I'm just like, how can I make you care? Like, you should care. Like, you'll probably play Kingdom Hearts 4, and then you're going to be like, I should probably play Union Cross. But you should, like, Square Enix, please, Disney Plus series, or just make a traditional game version of Union Cross. People need to play that game. People need to play Union Cross. It's so important. And then Melody of Memories did not cover a single story beat of Union Cross. At least Dark Road had the exception that Dark Road was not fully released because we only got the first half of the story and not the second half of the story. You could have at least put something Dark Road. You could have put Dark Road and then released the patch with an update DLC for the remaining of the story. On top of that, let's talk about DLC. The game came out in 2020. You could have put more songs in there. There were songs that weren't in there from the other games. Like, maybe it was a licensing issue, but I don't think there was any Pirates songs or Winnie the Pooh songs. I don't know if they just didn't have time to put them in there. But you could have found more songs. You could have made more tracks for us to continue to play the game. And then when new games like Missing Link and Kingdom Hearts 4 come out, we could have DLC tracks. Like, hello? That makes so much sense. Like, what is going on here? What are we doing? Oh, in the online. Okay, we're talking about online with DLC. There is no online. It's been so long. I don't remember specific, but there's no. Okay, there's no offline versus. There's only offline co-op. Offline co-op. You can't fail in offline co-op. There's no degree of challenge in co-op. Co-op is literally like putting the gutters up in bowling that you can't miss. You literally cannot miss. I I brought Melody of Memories over to a friend's house. I was like, let's do verses. We'll go against each other Guitar Hero style with Kingdom Hearts. You have to be online for verses. You have to be online for verses. So if I want to play verses with someone else, they have to own a copy of the game. And it's not like I own the copy. I go to a friend's house, put it into the PS4 or the Switch, and then play with them. It's no, they have to have their own copy on their own system. You have to connect to each other over the internet to verse each other. That's insane. That's insane. Story. We could have had dream versions of these characters akin to the data versions encoded. You could have literally made another coded where the story did not matter. The story did not matter, but you just had to do something with it. Something. And then at least Kyrie has more of a presence within the Kyrie game and not just and not just show up in the beginning and then at the end. Also, DLC, you could have added more characters. We could have had more teams, more trios. You could have done so much to this game. I feel like at this point, I would have been more content if the game came out as a PSN download for $30. Call it a day. I've been like, all right, it was $30. It was on the PSN. Who cares? It's whatever. But they put the information of the that's how we found out the name of Quadratum was from Melody of Memories. But I can guarantee you that 30 minutes of information that we got out of Melody of Memories will be recapped in the very beginning of Kingdom Hearts 4, making Melody of Memories totally null and void beyond the fact that it is a fun rhythm game. And that is the only thing that you take away from Melody of Memories is that it's fun, it's a rhythm game, it's cool as fuck that it exists because there's a Final Fantasy one and now we have a Kingdom Hearts one. I will never knock it down for that. I will never knock it down for being a fun game. I will knock it down for it not having enough meat on that bone for what is to be expected from a Kingdom Hearts game. And then Dark Road sucks because there's too much grinding and I don't like grinding. But everything else about Dark Road is amazing. You can't have a game like Melody of Memories and then just say that Kingdom Hearts 3 was the biggest letdown when Melody of Memories is literally right there. But a lot of people didn't probably even play Melody of Memories because they're just like, why would I play this? I have like probably zero interest in this because I only care about the number titles. And the people who bought it who didn't care about only the number titles already know all of the information that's in Melody of Memories, plus the additional information that was not included from Dark Road and Union Cross and back cover. Oh God. Could have done better. Could have done better. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. A little bit would have gone a long way. Honestly, if you fix the story elements and put Dream, Roxas, Aqua, Terra, because why are we going through memories? Oh my god, this is the biggest point. I just almost forgot about it. Why are we going through memories of other people through Kyrie? We should have the dream versions of those characters be the guide of Kyrie through this realm of dreams. Additionally, where's Naminé? Naminé is not in the memory game. she was in Chain of Memories, but not Melody of Memories. Why is Naminé not here if we are dealing with memories? What is Naminé doing? She's probably somewhere else. I think she's with like Roxas and them. I'm sure trying to figure something out using her powers or whatnot. I'm sure they'll explain it in Cage 4. But why was she not there? Why was there not a reason why she was not there? How do you make a character whose sole purpose is to influence the memories of Sora and the people who are involved with him, and then leave it to Ansem the Wise, Evan, and Ienzo and the fairy godmother to figure it out? Like, what is this? What is this? Where is Naminé? In the memory game about memories, where is the memory character? I can't believe I almost forgot that. That's like the biggest thing right there. And you want to talk shit about Kingdom Hearts 3. You want to talk shit about Kingdom Hearts 3 when this exists. When this is a blemish, a blemish on the fucking timeline of Kingdom Hearts. Okay, yeah, Kingdom Hearts 3 had no Cloud Strife, and it was a bad game. Meanwhile, no Union Cross. There's no Union Cross. I'm so miffed about that. It was the first time I ever played a Kingdom Hearts game, and I was like, this was a waste of money. I'm upset that I paid full price for this. Never. I paid full price for 0.2 and like didn't even play Dream Drop Distance because it's like I had no intentions on playing it. I just wanted it for the other stuff that was on it, which was like a 2-hour movie and a 3-hour game, and I paid 60-50 bucks for it, and I was so happy. I was like, this is great. I love this. Paid 60 bucks for Melody and Memories. I'm like, mm. And I didn't even get the Switch version because I just thought that I had a PS4, so why would I not get it on the PS4? If I had the Switch version, at least I could have got the the song in Smash. So now I have to somehow at some point find a Switch version of Melody and Memories so I can have a save data file so I can have the song in Smash that comes with having that game. Oh, I need to take a water break. Worked myself up so much. Might have to grab another water. Hold on. And I'm back like I never left with a full bottle of water. Woo! You know, for the longest time, I didn't know that you could pause recordings. I just always just stopped the recording and not realize that there was a pause button right next to it. All right. I got to make sure I don't ruin my throat after uh my yelling about Melody and Memories for who knows how long. All right. Kingdom Hearts 3 was ruined by Disney trying to push popular IP with zero wiggle room for creative development. Also, all of KH3 writing, voice acting is very subpar. The overall story and world building is excellent, but the characters' dialogue with each other is so stale and dry, which is one part of the writing between the characters, and two, the overall voice actor's performance as a whole. It's why the Japanese dub sounds better. It's a lot. It's a lot to unpack here. Uh, okay. My criticism on Kingdom Hearts 3 is Classic Kingdom. I despise Classic Kingdom with all of my heart. Honestly, Kingdom Hearts, I have a lot to say about every Kingdom Hearts game when it comes to things that I don't like. I think from Kingdom Hearts 3 forward have been very egregious, like very like notable. Like no, I would probably say from Union Cross forward because obviously the concept of the gotcha games I'm not a fan of. As much as I did enjoy a fragmentary passage, I do wish we got a little bit more with that disc. Like so I took a break from playing Union Cross for a very long time just because I think I got to the Gaston fight, and I could not get past it with my current set of medals. So I got frustrated, took a break, and then I was going to come back to it later. And then I heard 2.8 was coming out. I was like, oh, there's a Union Cross movie on here. This will probably cover like the events within the story or whatnot. Like, I'll just watch this. And it was a whole different thing. And in that moment, I was like, all right, I got to get back into Union Cross and start playing it. That whole concept of Union Cross, I did not enjoy. Just the way that the game is structured, it being a gotcha game. But that's just the nature of the beast with gotcha games. So that's my thing with that. Kingdom Hearts 3. A fragmentary passage could have had more meat on that bone as well. But honestly, I'm not too upset about that. That was whatever. Kingdom Hearts 3 Classic Kingdom is 100% Disney putting Disney into. Okay, I shouldn't say they're putting Disney into Kingdom Hearts because obviously Disney has always been within Kingdom Hearts. It's just more you that could have been Melody of Memories. That could have been a Melody of Memories minigame in Classic Kingdom. Like, don't have the phone. Go to San Francisco, hit up an arcade, boot up like I don't know, Melody of Memory Guitar Hero clone over there somewhere. I don't know. Maybe you could have it in the the Pence's hideout. What was it? The secret. Oh my god, I can't remember the secret area, the secret hideout where like Roxas, Pence, Olette, and Hayner all hung out in Kingdom Hearts 2. The one where Axel came in to steal Kyrie away when they came in through that portal and gave them all heart attacks. Quoted by Pence himself. Just implement something else other than Classic Kingdom. Classic Kingdom was not fun. It is cool to have the nods to the old classic Disney cartoons because I love Timeless River. I think Timeless River is fantastic. I feel like Classic Kingdom is such a Disney enforcing itself into the franchise, being like, you're gonna put Mickey Mouse in this, and you're gonna put so much Mickey Mouse in this. And I'm just like, don't. They're not fun. There's too many of them. You could have done better. I feel like that was one of those things that Disney was like, you're gonna put this in here, and you have no choice. And you could probably say the same thing with like the worlds as well, like Frozen, Tangled. They're probably forced to put those worlds in there, maybe even Big Hero 6, because I know Nomura wanted to do a Toy Story world for a while. Um, but again, maybe Nomura also really wanted to put those movies into Kingdom Hearts as well. Who's to say? I don't really know. I don't really have too much of a gripe with the worlds. I just feel like Classic Kingdom is such a far cry from everything else that we've seen, and that I don't understand why this is here. This feels like such a sore eyesore. It feels like such an eyesore. I don't like it. I didn't like it. So when it comes to Disney pushing popular IPs, that's my stance on that. Everything else is fine. I don't really have an issue with anything else because it's kind of hard to really say what's Disney being pushed and what's not. From a trained eye of playing all 12 games, you can kind of see what the outliers are. That's why I'm not upset about Arendelle, because I'm just like, this looks like something that they try to salvage, and this is the best that they could come up with. And so I can't get upset with that. You putting in stuff that should not be there, like Classic Kingdom, I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that. I think it's fine that they came up with something like it. I just feel like they could have come up with a better idea. And I feel the fact that it was all just Mickey Mouse games, it's a little on the nose there of what they were trying to do. But even though Classic Kingdom is in Kingdom Hearts 3, I would not say it ruined Kingdom Hearts 3, at least for me. Um for the creative development, I think a lot of people don't realize is that when you're making a world for older Disney movies, a lot of the teams that were working on those films are not around. The people who made Frozen, especially in the time of Kingdom Hearts 3 was coming out, was very much around. So they had more influence. So you could say that this is less of a Disney forcing or not allowing creative development, and less that The Kingdom Hearts team didn't just was left to their own devices, but they had to work within tandem with the Big Hero 6 team, with the Frozen team, with the Tangle team. And then at that point, it becomes more of a, oh, this is what their vision is. We should align it to their vision. Or it's like, how much wiggle room can we do with like this, and that to stay true within the movie? Then there's other instances of just like, there's like other movies worlds where it's like they literally were like could just do whatever because there probably wasn't that much content to work with, or maybe there was like very little content to work with. Trying to think of a good example of a world like I feel like Steamboat Willie. Yeah, Steamboat Willie. Like what else could you really do? You know, they just sort of were like, we want to do Steamboat Willie, and so they had the freedom of like, we're gonna put old Pete and new Pete in there. You know, that's not a Steamboat Willie thing. Maybe it is. I just not aware of it. But I think I think that's something we need to take into consideration is that there's a sense of probably respectfulness of like, oh, we want to abide by what the creators provide. And then I think in the instance of Frozen, maybe they did decide on something different. And then because of the popularity of Frozen, they were like, oh, well, this could have worked. But because how popular Frozen got, like we probably should back down and go in a different direction with this. The writing and the voice acting is subpar. I think that's subjective. Because it sounds like this person also is more of a subs versus dubs person. So whichever one you prefer, whichever one you like, you're not really going to be a big fan of the other version. As somebody who's watched all of One Piece, subbed, I can 100% tell you that I hear moments in the dub and I'm just like, I don't like that. And it's not that I don't like it because it's bad. I don't like it because it's different. But just because it's different doesn't mean it's bad. It just it just doesn't hit the same way because I'm so used to the dub. So when you're being so used to the dub, hear something or the sub. You're so used to the sub, you hear something in the dub, and you're like, that doesn't match the sub because the sub had this type of cadence, but then it sounds so different in the dub, and that's because of just the way languages are. Languages just sound so much different, especially when you don't fully understand the tone in which they're saying it, because a lot of the stuff that you hear One Piece in English is so weird, right? In English because you understand what they're saying and you're like, why are you saying it in that tone? Why are you saying it like that? Like what's going on here? Like it sounded so much cooler in Japanese. But not realizing that they're saying the exact same thing in Japanese. It just they have different tonality. So it sounds cooler than it actually is. And Kingdom Hearts is a game about friendships and the heart and the my friends are my power. Like I can't imagine hearing that in English and being like, this sounds cringe. And it's like, I mean, to some degree, yeah, it is cringe, but that's just because of however old you are. You probably just can't like mesh with it. You can't vibe with it. Like for me, I think it's normal. Like I don't think there's anything wrong with the power of friendship. I also watch anime and that's like a thing in anime as well, you know? So for me, I'm just like this is par for the course. And I don't really have a scenario where I'm just sitting here being like, this is a little much, you know? Maybe it's like sometimes I think there was like a moment in when I replayed Chain of Memories where I was like, Mickey was talking about the light, and I was like, why do I feel like I'm being preached to right now? Like, why do I feel like Mickey is like a pastor of the light? And he's just like talking about how great the light is and how the darkness is so bad and we should banish the darkness. But then it's like he eventually comes around. He's just like, oh, but the darkness is not as bad as I think it is. And I'm just like, feels like I'm being, feels like this is a sermon at certain points. Uh, so it's subjective. It's subjective. Writing, voice acting. The overall story and world building is excellent. I mean, I agree with that. I think that's really no issue with that. Character dialogue with each other is so stale. Again, objective. Yeah, I mean, you could say like certain instances, like the Roxas Ventus interaction could have been more, which it's like I wish it was. Like I'll say that any day of the week. Like I wish that there was. I mean, we eventually got more in Remind, but like I would have liked so much more. Uh, Aqua talking to Roxas, or even Axel talking to Terra. Just something like that. But that's less of the quality of the conversation and the lack of conversation in general. So I hope that's something that gets um brought up and fixed in Kingdom Hearts 4, because I would love for those characters to just talk to one another and hang out. I feel like that would probably I hype myself up so much for it, and if it doesn't happen, I might let myself down. I might have too high of expectations, and if I don't get anything similar to it, then I would be very sad. All right, next opinion here is check the time. Okay. Recoded wasn't bad. Now, by Melody of Memory standards, no, Recoded was not bad. Recoded is nowhere near bad. The problem with Recoded is that the story doesn't matter yet. I'm a firm believer that the story, the general concept of Recoded, is going to be important. We just don't realize it. I have a theory on my page here on YouTube, is that at the end of Melody of Memories, so I have Melody of Memories, their flowers for some of the scenes that they implemented, the finding out what the name of Quadratum is, seeing how Riku got to Quadratum, uh, what was it? All the different things that the characters were doing that we found out that, or no, I guess we kind of found out more in Remind, and then we got additional tasks afterwards, because then Mickey was tasked by Yen Sid, go to Scala at Kylum to find more information. And I think when Mickey goes to Scala at Kylum, he's going to find a copy of the Book of Prophecies. He's going to put it in his computer in Disney Castle. And then we are going to follow the story of the player character from Mickey's perspective. And the cherry on top of all this is that in the very beginning of Union Cross, there is a quest where the player character has to help Donald, Goofy, Chip, Dale, Mickey find gummy blocks to rebuild their gummy ship. Why are they there? Why are they there if these are events from way in the past? Why are they there? And I think Mickey also talks about the Keyblade and how like people are using Keyblades. It's very much smells of they did the thing where they went inside of Jiminy's journal and recoded, and they're going to do the thing again where they are going to go inside of the Book of Prophecies. Mark my words. That computer from Recoded is coming back, and they're using it again. And that's when we're going to find out that Union Cross canonically does not take place in the beginning of the timeline, but it actually, in fact, takes place after Kingdom Hearts 3. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. And then there was another instance of Recoded being important. Oh, my theory on what was it? Yuzora. The Yuzora theory that I put out is that there might be something with like a datascape, like an internet, like a kingdom, not like a Kingdom Hearts internet, but like a datascape, internet worldscape realm something. So I feel like the datascape concept. Oh, it was how did Ansem the Wise get the Tron world in Kingdom Hearts 2? Because Ansem the Wise could not travel to other worlds, as far as we are aware, right? But he had a copy of the Tron world downloaded onto his computer, and he modified it to make Space Paranoids. And then we later find out that the grid, which is the copy of the original world that Ansem took from, is out there, and it's in the dream realm. So it was put to sleep, right? Clearly, Ansem downloaded that off of some sort of internet, and so that, on top of a bunch of other points I made in the video. So definitely check out the Azora theory video. If you sort my videos by like most viewed or the most popular, I think it's like the third video uh I have posted. Or there's a playlist. If you go to the playlist and look at the theories, you'll find it there because there's only like 6 theories, so there's not that many in there. You'll find the recoded one and you'll find the Azora one in there. Definitely check them out. There's more to the Azora theme. That's just a bit of it, but the concept of recoded, the concepts are going to be important later on. As of right now, it is not. It's totally skippable. You don't need to play it, but you just wait. You just wait until Kingdom Hearts 4 comes out, and then everyone's going to be like, damn, recoded was in fact important. And again, wish that Melody and Memories took a page from Recoded Story, and that, like how they had data versions, I would have loved to have dream versions of these characters, of Roxas, Xion, Terra, Aqua, and all the rest. So, no, Recoded is not bad because there are other games that are way worse. Kingdom Hearts 3 should have had more playable character options in the final fight instead of including that aspect in Remind, instead of just Sora Riku in some parts of the game. This implying that we should have been able to like control Aqua in the fights instead of Sora and Riku. More playable character options. So like being able to pick through any of the 7. I think that's another realm of that would be cool. That would be really, really cool. But then it's like the cutscenes wouldn't make sense because like the cutscenes were very specific to the characters that were there. So like I don't see how there's some instances where it's like it didn't matter who is with Sora when he defeated Luke Short, Larxene, or Marluxia. So it's like alternatively like Riku could have like came along with him. But then we found out later that he was hanging out with Demix for a little bit and then eventually just I get honestly, why didn't Riku eventually meet up with us? That's kind of weird now that I think about it. Aqua Terra and Ventus made sense in that they were like resting before they met up with us. And then Axel, Roxas, and Xion were like reuniting with one another. And then Axel was also catching them up with like the story beats because Roxas and Xion were MIA until just that moment. So Mickey and Riku could have stuck around with Sora the entire time. Like there's no reason for them not to be with them. And then they could have been like Sora, Mickey, Donald, or no, Sora, Mickey, Riku, and then Aqua Terra Ventus in like that section, and then the other one with the other ones. But maybe it would have been like broken to have those characters because maybe like Riku would have been too busted against like certain fights, and that's why they didn't bring him in there. And the same with Mickey. Who knows? Or maybe they just wanted to spread it evenly. That everyone had their own time to shine. So you didn't just spam it the whole time and just pick like Riku and didn't even play as Sora when like Sora's the main character. Um, yeah, that's kind of the thing with Kingdom Hearts, the number titled games, is that Sora is always going to take the largest percentage of playtime possible, and only share the limelight in a very small amount. So like in Kingdom Hearts 2, it was like Roxas had the tutorial in the very beginning, and then the rest is Sora, right? And then Cage 1 was all Sora, as far as I was aware. And then Cage 3 had those moments where it was like, in this specific fight, you could pick Riku, or in this specific fight, you could pick Roxas. Um, so I'm gonna say it would be cool. I don't see them doing that, nor should anybody expect that within a number titled game. to have that happen because Sora is the main character. So you would want to play a side game for that instead. Which I don't even know if we're ever going to get another side game at this point. Like, I would love. I mean, they would have to make a side game to the same polish as a number titled game for them to put it out on the PS5. They charge like, how much is a PS5 game at this point? Are they like $70? I'm gonna look up on GameStop's website right now how much a PS5 game costs. Monster Hunter Wilds is 75, or no, that's the steelbook. So 69.99. Okay, I see here. Yeah, Assassin's Creed, MLB, Monster Hunter, they're $70. I can't. Can you imagine putting out a game like Recoded for $70? Like, that's not gonna fly. Like, you can't do that. You'd have to charge it like half price it, but then I don't know where you would put it. it there's no DS. This is why I wish we had handheld consoles like the DS or the PSP, because then you could just be like, well, throw it on there. It's a smaller title. We don't have to go all above and beyond and make a home console for it, or home console game version, which I think a lot of people took for granted when they were like, "Oh, well, why is Chain of Memories on the Game Boy Advance and Birth by Sleep is on the PSP? How am I going to play them all?" And eventually they put them all in one bundle, and then people didn't have any reason to complain about those. Am I losing my voice? I didn't drink water fast enough. I'm going to lose my voice. I'm going to go to work tomorrow and then be like, "What happened to you?" And be like, "I was upset about a video game." I'll probably have my voice up until I stop recording, and then I'm gonna go to bed tonight and then be like, "Ugh." I'm gonna sound so raspy. I'm gonna have to make sure I drink plenty of water prior and hope that that does not happen, but we'll see. But yeah, that's my stance on that. I don't really got much to say on that. Much else to say. Roxas is cooler than Sora. So regular Pat, if you haven't seen his video, did a popularity poll where he polled his entire audience and asked them to give them their, I think, top 5 favorite Kingdom Hearts characters. And that's also, I think, Kingdom Hearts, Final Fantasy, The World Ends With You. Oh my god. The World Ends With You. Disney characters, Pixar, and um Roxas. I will say Roxas had ranked higher than Sora. I won't spoil it. I won't say where exactly. I almost did. I almost did. I will say that Roxas ranked higher than Sora for popularity. You should watch the video. It's a long video, so if you've got like things to do, like you got to fold laundry or eat, or you're at work and you're looking for a long video to watch, definitely put that video on. Highly recommend it. I watched the entire thing. It's great. Um, I also voted it as well, and I wanted to see where my characters landed, and most of them I think landed on the higher end. My characters, the ones that I put in were Axel, the Master of Masters, Strelitzia, Aced, and Riku. Now, obviously, Riku got up pretty high. Um, Axel got up pretty high. I think I don't know who is lower between Strelitzia, Aced, and the Master of Masters. I think it might have been Aced was the lowest, followed by Strelitzia, then the Master of Masters, and then Axel, and then Riku. But yeah, so overall, the biggest thing I took away from that video is that Roxas was more popular than Sora, which very much surprised me. I would have been like, oh no, Sora's for sure gonna be more popular than like any of the other characters. Like he should be like like no contest, you know? Like I didn't think there was that much in the way of opposition for him to get up there. But Roxas Roxas did. Roxas stood in his way. Uh do I think Roxas is cooler? Okay, so Roxas is a character that appeals to, I feel like, people who have gone through some pretty like strong things. They have strong feelings. They have a lot of moments in their lives that they connect with Roxas, and they are just so like on that wavelength, on that Roxas wavelength. I unfortunately am not one of those people. So I thought initially I thought Roxas was kind of like annoying and a little bit of a brat. You know, it's just like, what is this guy's deal? Like, why is he so moody? And then that was my initial take of him. And it wasn't like I wasn't dying on a hill for it. I was just like, oh yeah, Roxas is pretty cool, but he's just a little moody for me. Replaying it again recently, because I did a whole playthrough of everything, crit playthrough prior to KH3 coming out. I have more of an understanding, and I think maybe because I'm older is when I initially played the games on like standard like years ago. Because I did a playthrough. So I played 1 and 2 around the times when those came out, and then didn't know there were any other games until like I think Dream Drop was on its way to being released. So when I found out that there was Pain of Memories, Days, Coded, and Birth by Sleep, and then Dream Drop was on the way, I was like, oh shit, I gotta play all these games. So I went through and I played all of them. And I shit you not, I shit you not. At least I will say this, even with my prior stance on Roxas, is that the Seesaw trio is the best trio. Hands down, Roxas or Axel is my favorite character, my favorite Kingdom Hearts character. Trio is so good. The trio is the best trio. Oh, the best well-formed trio. And maybe in that moment I was like Roxas is being a little bratty. Roxas is being a little bratty. But then I got older, you know, and then I replayed the games. And then I was like, you know what, Roxas, I understand you better now that I'm in my late 20s versus I wasn't even 20 at the time when I replayed the other games. I think it was like 18, 19. It was just about to be 20. So versus, I guess you could say, pre 20s to mid to late 20s when I replayed. I understood Roxas better. I understood Roxas more the older I got, but I still can't say I 100% relate with Roxas. I relate more so with Axel. That's why Axel is one of my all-time favorite characters. I get though why Roxas tends to be more popular of a character because of the trauma. Roxas is trauma incarnate. And so much people have trauma and they just relate with just a lot of what happens to Roxas. I feel like Sora is also okay, but I feel like Sora is one of those people where it's like he fits the typical sort of protagonist, like anime protagonist. My friends are my everything. I fight for my friends type vibe. And I think that's okay. I personally don't mesh with it. Like I probably connect with it more than I do with Roxas. But I think Sora is a very sort of like middle of the road character. You know, if you like him, you know, more power to you. You know, I have no issue with anybody liking any character except for maybe like some of the old men in Kingdom Hearts, which I've talked about this on the previous episode. Is I think the old men in Kingdom Hearts are very stupid, um, just in their actions. But I would say I think there's more in One Piece where I was like, if you like certain characters in One Piece, I'm more disgusted versus in Kingdom Hearts where it's like if you're like Ansem the Wise is my favorite character, I'd be like, that's weird, but it's better than fucking what's his name? Fucking Caribou. If you ever fucking come up to me and you say that Caribou is your favorite One Piece character, do not talk to me. Go walk away. If you say Ulti is your favorite, walk away. If you say fucking Scratchman and Pooh is your favorite, walk away. Those characters are fucking awful. But if you say that like Vexen is your favorite character, I'd be like, that's interesting. I wouldn't tell you to walk away though. I would not tell you to walk away for any character, any character. Even though Vexen and Larkseen gave me trauma in Chain of Memories, I'm okay with it. I'm okay with most of these characters. I don't think there's a single character, as far as I can think of, where I would be like, need to walk away. The One Piece ones, you got to reevaluate. You got to reevaluate. Because Caribou, what are you doing? Why are you picking Caribou? Stop it. Get some help. I know why you're picking Ulti. You also need some help. Don't. Don't. I have no understanding of why you would ever pick. Okay, this is turning into a One Piece video. I'm going to say this one last thing and then I'm going to go back to Kingdom Hearts. Scratchman of Pooh has a cool power, but Uta is there. And Uta is the better music user, okay? We leave Scratchman of Pooh back in the past. We don't look back. All right. One Piece ran over for now. I'm sure I'll probably get brought up again because I'm addicted to One Piece as much as I am with Kingdom Hearts. Ugh. All because Roxas is cooler than Sora. That's how it started all this. Uh, I'll say it. Yeah, Roxas is cooler than Sora. It was such a pointless. I went through all this. I went through all this talking just to essentially agree with it. Be like, yeah, I think Roxas. I personally don't vibe with Roxas, but I do think he is cooler than Sora. But Sora is also cool too. I wouldn't say. I think Roxas is just he's got edge. Roxas has edge, so he has a slight bit over Sora. Sora can get pretty sassy though. Sora can have some edge to him, but Roxas is just full on. Uh, what? I was gonna say Pax Sun, but Pax Sun's not edgy. I don't even think Hot Topic is that edgy. But I guess maybe like 2000s Hot Topic was like what you would consider to be edgy back then. What even is edgy? What's like a clothing brand that would be edgy? I'm not well versed in clothing brands to be the one to be saying this because I feel like PacSun is a stereotypical answer or Hot Topic or Spencer's, but I don't feel like that's what I'm going for. Maybe like a like an old person's view of Hot Topic. That's what Roxas is to them, and then that's like it's like a dumb like edgy like demonic sort of vibe where they're just like he wears a black coat and he's got two swords and he's moody all the time and he's got spiked hair. Yeah, it's like probably what an old person back in like the 90s, the early 2000s would be like clutching their pearls, be like, "Oh, this is the reincarnate of the devil." He's like, he's so edgy, he's so cool. Look at him ride a skateboard. Not remembering that Sora also whoa, that was not a word. Rode a skateboard as well. Can't forget. Can't forget. They're both skateboarders. Sora did it as a lion. That's pretty cool. I love lion form Sora. Lion form Sora is best form Sora. But Axel though. Axel, Orin on top. Master of Masters. Aced, Strelitzia. Oh, I'm so excited to see more of the Union Cross characters. Anyways, next dance here. All right, we still got time. Uh, Kingdom Hearts 3 is good, and most of the people who didn't like it skipped every game besides 1 and 2. I don't really think there's much to say on that one. I've pretty much covered that. Um, yeah, I think It's crazy that there are people who literally skipped everything other than 1 and 2 and went straight into 3. Like, maybe I can understand if you didn't know, but the moment you found out, like, you should have went back and played it and then give it another chance and then see what your opinion would have been on it. Hopefully, there aren't people out there there probably is people out there who've only played 1, 2, and 3, said that it was terrible, and then aren't even gonna bother playing the other games, which is such a shame. Union Cross! Union Cross could change so many people's minds. If there's a Disney Plus series, I'm telling you. It's just like how so many people oh my I'm talking about it again. Here we go. So many people didn't want to watch One Piece until the live action One Piece came on the Netflix, and then they're like, "You know what? I'll give One Piece a chance." If 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 Disney Plus makes a Disney Plus Union Cross series, people are going to eat that shit up, and then they're going to be like, "Wow, Kingdom Hearts has some pretty fucking cool shit going on for it." And I had no idea because I didn't play this game because I didn't even know it existed. And honestly, to be honest, it's not even the player, but that person player's fault because Square Enix doesn't even allow you to play the game. The app's not even on the App Store anymore. I thought for a while that the app was on the App Store, and I found out like a week ago, like 2 weeks ago, that it's not on the App Store anymore. I'm like, what the fuck? It's like if you had it downloaded, then I assume you could go back and play through Dark Road and Union Cross, but like, why are you taking? They took it off the App Store and then they put it back on and then they took it away, dude. It's why? Why? Don't take it away. Do not take it away until you have the replacement. You should have never shut down the servers for Union Cross until Missing Link was going to come out. You can shut down Union Cross. Okay, you could. I don't even want to say you should have shut down Union Cross after Dark Road because no. Okay, do not shut down any game, any live service games until you have an alternative lined up. Like remake Union Cross, announce it, and then say, hey, the servers are going to shut down like a year before the game's supposed to come out, the remake, whatever. Just let people play the game. Let people play the game. Disney, you have so much money. It's also Nintendo does the same thing where Nintendo has so much money. You could have left the eShop up. Disney, you could have just let this one game like do its thing. Unless Disney had no control money wise and it was more of a Square Enix thing, I'm not too sure. Either way, if Disney you didn't give any money towards it, you should have gave money towards it. You should have just been like YOLO, keep it up, and then shut it down later. You know, or at least keep the app up so people can download it. It's so weird. It's so weird to tell people like you can't play the most important game in the franchise. Go watch a YouTube video, like on youtube.com/briskapollo. Plot Points episodes 1 and 2 covers, well, yeah, 1 covers Union Cross and back cover, 2 covers Dark Road. Definitely check it out if you can't play either one and you want to. Go to my channel, sort by the oldest videos. They're the first 6 videos, covers the entire franchise, all the important bits. Um, Part 2 did get updated when the other half of Dark Road got released. So you'd have to look and just type. If you go to the playlist, the Plot Points playlist, you'll find it. You'll find it all the updated parts. Yeah. Yeah. Where did I even leave off on this? Yeah, that's all I'm going to say on that one. There should be a KH3 remake. Make it similar to B Birth by Sleep, where we have 3 separate journeys: Axel's training, Sora's travels, Riku and Mickey in the Dark World. Remove the excessive Disney filler. I mean, that's just Disney. That's all Disney worlds are, is their filler. Their filler. Except for, I would argue that Kingdom Hearts 3 does not the best version, but a decent version of including them within the story. Actually develop on Xehanort's backstory. We had a we had a full game for that. That's Dark Road. That's Dark Road. Add more depth to the plot. The game was far too rushed at the end, although I did really enjoy the final battle. That's the one thing I always hear about people when they criticize Kingdom Hearts 3 is that they always enjoy the final part, which it's like that's the meat and potatoes right there. Like that's the game. That's the game. The best parts are always at the end. Like of course you're going to like the end. But Kingdom Hearts 3 did a phenomenal job with incorporating elements. Slight, slight. It wasn't as on the nose as Dark Road was, okay? But Kingdom Hearts 3 does get credit because organization was in Toy Box to figure out how inanimate objects could move around, right? So that's clearly them trying to start up the replicas and get more information on the replica program, right? Because the toys, the replicas, they go hand in hand, right? Vanitas in the Monsters Inc. world was phenomenal because Vanitas is powered by negative energy and emotions, and the Monsters Inc. world used to be powered by screams, which was negative emotions. And so Vanitas went to Monstropolis to essentially recomplete and recharge himself, which is such a smart idea. You could the princess parts with like Larxene in Arendelle and then Marluxia in Tangled or Corona is it's like it's very like to some degree I think it was very lackluster in comparison because it was just more so them introducing the new princesses or some of the new princesses of Heart. But I also think that it is important that we did see the new princesses of Heart and that, we saw half of them. We know half of them, and now we're going to figure out who the other half are in another title. I also think that to some degree, having specifically Marluxia and Larxene after the princesses was smart in the sense that they're actually not bad people since we know about their past. So you could say to some degree that maybe subconsciously they were looking over the princesses to try to make sure that no harm was actually coming to them and that they were actually being protective in a weird way without them even realizing it. Because they're like, oh no, we have to make sure that the princesses are safe. So if Sora and crew doesn't get their seven together, that we're gonna go after the princesses. But like Maleficent kidnapped all of them and kept them captive in Hollow Bastion. Like the organization very much could have just taken those princesses from those worlds like they did, like Maleficent did back then. So it's like for them to just be like, we're just keeping an eye on them. It's like, are you? Sounds like you're trying to keep an eye, but also like, do you really need to be that involved and making it apparent that Sora knew that these were the princesses of Heart and like like it's a like double-edged sword when it comes to it because it's like they didn't have their memories, so it's like how would they know? It doesn't really make sense to say that they were being protective of the princesses, but like maybe deep down subconsciously they kind of had a feeling of like this was like what they wanted to do for as a good person. I don't know. That's one of the weaker arguments. I'll give people that. I'll give people that. And then what else? There's pirates and oh, Big Hero. Well, Big Hero didn't really have. Oh no, Big Hero incorporated the data stuff. Where did that get used in? I guess I guess maybe that was like a second part of the replica thing where it's like they went to Toy Box to like figure out the initial like aspects and then they went to San Francisco to find like the finer points of like remaking a heart from data and all this stuff. Um, Unless they had another storyline that we just aren't involved with, which I guess we'll see in Cage 4 if it becomes relevant. Pirates was more them looking for hearts or like no, that was more research for replicas. Yeah. No, yeah, that was probably the midpoint because so you could argue that Toy Box was them researching the bodies of the replicas. The Caribbean was the hearts of the replicas, and then San Francisco was the memories or the beings of the replicas, right? So there was a lot in those three worlds where they very much are like doing their due diligence and like incorporating their reasonings of being there for their overall goal. Am I missing a world? I said pirates, Toy Box, San Francisco, and then I mentioned Arendelle. Oh, Arendelle, Corona, and then Monsters Inc., which I already talked about, and then Winnie the Pooh. I think Winnie the Pooh was just more so to connect Sora falling under Xehanort's plan in Dream Drop Distance and how darkness, well, he almost lost his heart to the organization and how that severed his tie with Winnie the Pooh somehow. And also kind of hints at Sora growing older as a character and how elements of that might be uh, uh an angle, like a story aspect within Kingdom Hearts 4 because it's like Sora's getting older and like his most childlike friend, which would be Winnie the Pooh, he feels like he's growing distant from Winnie the Pooh, right? And you could say it's like, oh, it's because, he almost succumbed to the darkness and that kind of like severed those ties. But I'm like, maybe he's just getting older and he's just not that into kid stuff. And then maybe when he goes to Quadratum and he has to actually work a job and pay taxes and abide by laws, maybe that might change something inside of him and push the whole like, you know what? I just don't think I really want to go back to all this kid stuff, this Disney World stuff. Like this is me now. This is I live here. I work in an office job. That would be the most depressing turn to take for a character like Sora. I think to some degree it would be an interesting turn to see like Sora has grown as a character in this sort of like connects with him more. Not to take away from like Sora should not be just another office worker. But if Quadratum ends up being like a more cooler game world to coexist in, and like maybe he vibes with this more than he did with the Disney worlds, and he's just like, that's not really me anymore. Like this Quadratum space is more my style. And that's just more showing like how he's grown as a character. Like I think that would be pretty interesting. I don't want Sora to just be a normal 9 to 5 and hating his life. Like I don't want that. But I think it would be cool if he did become more of like he did like exude more the anime characteristics that he's been destined to to take on since like the very beginning. What was I even talking about for this stance? Oh, it's talking about the worlds. That's right. Uh, okay. Well, from the start, it is way too early to be talking about a Kingdom Hearts 3 remake. Nor do I really think we ever need a remake for Kingdom Hearts 3 because it's literally fine. It's fine. Uh, Anything that they missed out on, they could just implement into future games. So there's that. They're not going to do the separate journeys things. I already touched on that because the main numbered titles are always going to be Sora, Donald Goofy, or probably Square Enix character Donald Goofy. That's just that's just how it's been. That's how it always will be. If that something like that should have would be its own non-number titled game, which again we probably will not get ever again because where are you going to put it? How much are you going to charge for it? You know, this, that, and the other. I would love to be proven wrong on that though. Very much would. Remove the excess Disney filler. So this goes into removing Disney from Kingdom Hearts, which is a whole other argument in itself. I have said I would be okay with less Disney. I almost would say I would be okay with no Disney. But there's no way that you could have no Disney. Like, I would be okay with Mickey, Donald, Goofy, Maleficent, Pete. Like, they can stay, right? I would rather just know more about the characters and their stories, you know? Like, there's so much to learn about the Master of Masters, Lushu, the Foretellers, the Dandelions, and it's like, unless we can somehow incorporate the overall Kingdom Hearts story, like these plots within the Disney worlds, then I'm all for Disney worlds. But if we're just going to a Disney world and sort of messing around for a little bit, I can't say I'm too interested at this point because there's so much more information outside of the Disney worlds that I want to know more of. But the problem is that we don't get as much information as we should with a lot of the story because there's just not enough time with going to the different Disney worlds. Now, if we learned anything from Dark Road, and Kingdom Hearts 3, they could start to implement more of the story elements. I mean, you can honestly say even in like I said, Birth by Sleep, I think I mentioned it earlier in this video, that they also implemented story elements within the Disney worlds pretty well. I think it was a very early part, technically recoded, but recoded I feel like is an exception because it's like it's different from like a Birth by Sleep or a Dark Road for sure. Dream Drop incorporate elements? They did with the 20 characters, the World Ends With You characters. I don't know if they would so much really interacted with the overall plot, Dream Drop, with any of the other characters. Maybe beyond with Mickey? Oh. I was like, what is that noise? Someone has just woken up. I heard you. It must have been, he let out a yawn or something. I heard something squeaking. I was like, what the hell is that? Sounded like a door had just opened. Tony's also here. He came back, but he's been sleeping on the bed. Hey, what's your thoughts on Kingdom Hearts 3? You got any thoughts? If he walks away, he's a Kingdom Hearts hater. Are you gonna walk away? He's thinking on it. We'll see. Hey, if you're a fan of Kingdom Hearts 3, look at his sleepy ass face. I was gonna say, if you're a fan of Kingdom Hearts 3, you gotta jump on the top. He's a fan of Kingdom Hearts 3. Woo! Back, you're a fan. He's like, don't touch me. I'm going back to sleep. I literally was gonna say, if you're a fan, jump on the top. If you're not, walk away. Tony, you're a fucking hater. All right, the stance. Okay. Uh, should remove the Disney. Either incorporate it, have a little bit less of it. I don't want the bigger percentage to be Disney. I will say that much. Develop Xehanort's backstory. This was left in November of last year. There has so much time had passed since we've had the last part of Dark Road. Maybe this person doesn't know the Dark Road exists. So I can't really blame them if they don't know. Oh, Tony and or Max just wait, can I turn the camera? I mean, obviously I can, but I don't know if it'll. They're hanging out over there. I didn't know if I could turn the camera all the way over there. Me that bright light in the background. You can see my empty bookshelf that has no books in it, but you can see all my books that are here. I'm gonna eventually fill it up. So little by little, every episode you'll see slight adjustments. I also moved some of these up here. I moved them forward and moved them around a little bit. So you might notice that. I'm getting sidetracked. Yeah, I don't think this person knows Dark Road exists. Because it's very silly to say that about Xehanort. When we already have a game that goes over his backstory and more in depth to the overall plot of the series. Uh, Game was rushed. I mean, it had to restart production. So, yes, it was rushed, but it's not like it it's not like I don't even know who you could blame for that at that point. I mean, whoever made the executive I mean, the game ended up probably looking a lot better, so it's probably a unanimous just decision. It was like an unfortunate unanimous decision to be like, yeah, maybe we do have to start over and then work on a new engine. Which it's like it ended up shooting themselves in the foot maybe a little bit because maybe they couldn't fine tune it as much as they wanted to. But again, personally, I think it's fine. I don't have the biggest gripe with what we got. Again, some aspects like Classic Kingdom I wish wasn't there. Or Arendelle could have been, a little bit more detailed, but I think it's fine. I think it's fine. And it's a learning lesson, so we'll see if they make the same mistakes or if they implement the same sort of tactics styles in future games or if they sort of learn from it. I think we might have time for one last one. Uh, so there's one that says Goofy is a better healer than Donald. I don't really have much of an opinion on that, to be honest, because I don't really pay attention to either of them when they heal, like as healers. Like they're always dead. Like what? They're useless. I never understood this whole aspect of like having expectations for the party characters because they don't do anything. Sometimes Donald does come in clutch with a heal, and I could say that maybe he heals too much sometimes because he'll heal me when I've already healed myself or I've only taken like a little bit of damage. I know I relied on Donald heavily in a certain fight in Kingdom Hearts 3. Can't remember which one though. I think it was the Xehanort fight, like the very end. I was like baiting Donald to heal me. And I think I even went into the settings and increased the chances of him to heal, and it like actually worked. So it's like I think if we're playing on base settings and not altering how often they heal, then you could probably say by default Goofy tends. Cause I never give Goofy items because when I did, he would always use them. My headphone just told me low battery. Jeez, that threw me. I could not even focus at that point. Just hearing a voice in my head just now. Well, luckily, I'm almost done with this recording, so we're fine. I guess I must have forgot to charge my headphones last night. Well, what was he saying? Oh yeah, having base probably Goofy is probably better. I remember giving him items, and he would always use them in inopportune moments. So I was like, well, I'd rather Donald use his mana than Goofy use like a limited amount of items because it's like those are important and we need to use them in very important points. So it's better that I hold the items. Goofy, you just do whatever you do. And then we'll put Donald only being able to use cure and increase the chances of it happening to high and then hope that he does it at the correct moments. Um Overall no stance on that one. I guess if I had to pick, I would just give it to Donald, honestly. I feel like the AI is just better when it comes to using the mana versus the AI using items. That's just my stance. Although I guess in my defense, I've never given Donald items, so I don't know if maybe Donald is just as bad as Goofy when it comes to items. Might also be a game per game sort of scenario where it's like maybe it was a lot worse in KH1, but it was a lot better in KH2. I think I've only ever tried giving them items in KH1 and then post KH1. Legit, when I played KH3, the crit run that I played on twitch.tv/Briscaballo, I forgot to even upgrade Donald and Goofy's weapons at all. Donald and Goofy literally had the base shield and staff up until I think the Xehanort fight when I was upgrading my own Keyblades, and then I was like, oh, I should probably buy better weapons for them. And then they eventually got better weapons. But it wasn't until like endgame where I was like, oh, you know what? They can get an upgrade. They've just been having their base weapons this entire time. All right. I'm looking at the next one and I don't think I can I this last one, the Goofy Donald healing thing, I was like I could probably tackle that pretty quickly. This next one, I feel like I'd probably go in a rant. I don't know how much longer my headphones are going to last. Even though I don't really need my headphones to record this, I just sort of have them on for mostly to hold my hair back because it would just keep getting into my face. Um but yeah, I think that'll be it for this one. I think I've yapped on long enough. You know, I try to keep at least these. I feel like 2 hours is a good amount of time, right? And it's nice too because I can just talk for 2 hours straight and then just upload it, which is really nice. I can just take a break, talk about Kingdom Hearts for a bit, you know, because I'm out here slaving away editing videos. Oh, fucking wish I could edit. I wish I could just do nothing but edit all day. But unfortunately, I have a 9 to 5. So I have to do that and then come home and edit. Essentially, is my second job. I mean, it is my second job because I get paid from YouTube, which is really cool. So hopefully, at some point, it becomes like a permanent, like full time thing. Then I could just edit all day and I'd be so fucking happy. But it is nice to do stuff like this in Twitch because it takes a break from it. Which, by the way, follow me on twitch.tv/Briscapollo. We are currently doing Pokemon Tuesdays and then on Fridays. So there's a stream every week, Tuesday and Friday. So Tuesday right now is Pokemon, and then Friday is alternating games. Right now we're working on building a One Piece. It's coming back again. We're talking about One Piece. I have this model kit of Tony Chopper. And when you put all the pieces together, it makes like a giant robot chopper, like a mecha monster point chopper. I have all 5 boxes. I've done 2 streams so far where I built 2 pieces, the legs and the torso. And so I still have 3 more for the head, the arm, and the 2 arms. I actually should have at this point boxes. Ugh. Okay. I at this point should have already built 2 of the arms, but I was working on my March Caprice video for the last few weeks. Dude, oh my god, the March Caprice video. That oh my oh I got a story about that one. But I was working on the March Caprice video, so I skipped over to the building streams. So if you want to get in on that, twitch.tv/Briscapollo. Check out the link in the description or the link tree in my channel bio. And streaming every Tuesday and Friday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Usually about 4 to 5 hour streams. And then after we finish building all the chopper parts, then I'm playing Birth by Sleep because the last bosses that I have yet to defeat are Armor of Ericus and No Heart. So I'm going to unlock both of them, fight both of them, and I can finally say I've defeated every boss in Kingdom Hearts on critical. And then after Birth by Sleep, Tears of the Kingdom, because I never finished Tears of the Kingdom. I made it about halfway. And then after Tears of the Kingdom, I have like over 130 games that I have not played, have not touched. I'm going to put it on a wheel, I'm going to spin it, and then we're going to see where it lands and then play those games. And then on top of that, there's going to be a second wheel. So on the first wheel, there's going to be a little sliver that's going to be wish list games. And if it lands on the wish list games, then it goes to a whole separate wheel of like 80 different games that I have on my wish list of games that I have not bought but would like to play. So if it lands on that, then it opens up even more to the point where it's like 200 games to pick from. So there's a whole plethora of games, and they're from like Wii games to Xbox 360 games on Steam, on Epic, VR games as well. So if you're interested, check it out. And then hopefully I could start editing those VODs and uploading them. So I'll definitely keep you guys updated on that if I ever get around to doing that. Definitely planning to, I just don't know when. Um, yeah, that's Twitch. I guess since I brought it up, the March Caprice video, I'm going to say about this, I'm going to talk about this, and then I'm going to end it because I will yap on for way too fucking much for my own good. Way too much for my own good. March Caprice video. It's completed. It's submitted. So make sure to check out. I'll make posts on it when we get closer to it, but it's going to be around the end of this month. March Caprice, if you're not aware, is a online celebration of everything Kingdom Hearts, where the community comes together and they submit all different types of work for Kingdom Hearts. So we've got cosplays, we got artwork, we have merchandise, we have videos, we have podcasts, we have live streams, we have music. I'm trying to remember all of them. There's so many categories. They've got everything. Everything's all here. Smash. Um, so at the end of the month, it's like a week-long celebration. Every week, something's always getting displayed, shown, presented. Something's going on. So make sure to look up March Caprice, follow all of them on their socials. I think I made a video for the video entries, and that's going to be on their Twitch stream where did Twitch? No, it's YouTube. I forgot how they did it last year. I think it was I don't know if they put everybody on a playlist and it alternated from like video to video. I know that part was on YouTube. I could have swore they did something on Twitch. Maybe they did like a pre-show on Twitch. It's been so long I can't remember the exact details. Either way, follow them just on all their socials if it's something that would interest you. So the video that I made, it's very similar to the March Caprice video that I made last year, but I put a bit of a twist to it. So that's a general hint of what you're gonna get for the video. Now, the fucking drama, the fucking tea of this. I edited the video, I exported it. Right, it was just a rough draft. I watched it over, fixed the issues, re-exported it. I went back a third time because there was a big fix that I needed to do with rearranging some of the images, which is like there's other people that are involved in this video, and some of their cameras were not facing the right way. So I was like, that's going to take a lot of time. I'm going to save that to the very end. I'm going to do these rough draft exports, renders, whatever you want to call them. Look at all the small details to fix. And then the third time around, go back, rearrange the face cams. So everyone's facing the proper direction. I ended up, it was the very last day before submissions were due, right? and I was about halfway done with it, right? And I was like, I worked on it the night prior, which was Saturday. No, Friday. It was Friday. On it was the last week of February, the 28th. Video was due on the 1st. I worked on it all late night Friday night. All right. Saturday comes. Saturday's the due date. Saturday I'm like, I can get this knocked out. I forgot my birthday, which is on March 6th. So, actually, I think this podcast is going to be coming out on my birthday. So, when you see this, it's my birthday. It's funny. I didn't even think about that. I was like, yeah, no, this is coming out on my birthday. I forgot. Um put how old you think I am in the comments. You're probably not going to get it right. Anyways, what was I saying? Oh, I was going to take my hard drive where I have the video on. Tony is looking at me right now with the most sleepy, drunk face right now. Tony, yes, I could see your eye boogies from here. All right, we'll do this. We'll do it from this angle with Tony, and you can see some of my Zelda posters in the corner. Although that light is kind of weird, though. Just like I'm also very off brand. Hold on, let me fix this. Sorry, Tony. This is my show. I think that's not right, but whatever. Lower it a little bit. That's not right. Whatever. I'm not gonna fix it. Fixes it anyways. Okay. Focus. I was going to take the hard drive. I unplugged it from my computer, plugged it to my laptop, right? The editing software was like, hey, you're missing some of these pictures, audio files. You need to make sure that they are on the hard drive. I'm like, oh, yeah, that's right. I downloaded some of this stuff on my computer on the download folder. So I went through, I put all the stuff onto the hard drive. So I unplugged it from the laptop, plugged it into the computer, moved the stuff on there, unplugged it from the computer, put it into the laptop. It was like, hey, there's still stuff missing. I'm like, that's weird. I must have missed some of the stuff. Unplugged it from the laptop, plug it into the computer, go through because I took a screenshot. Took a screenshot of everything that was missing. Made sure that it was all on there. Good to go. Unplug it from the computer. Plug it back into the laptop. It says that the files are still not there. I was like, what do you mean? They are there. So I unplug it from the laptop. I plug it back into the computer. I double check. The files are there. I was like, that is really weird. So I drag the files back into the hard drive from the computer. And it says the whole thing like, hey, this file already exists. Do you want to replace it? I said yes. Because I'm like, maybe that'll fix it. I don't know at this point. The third time I unplugged it from the computer and then plugged it into the laptop, the editing software, when it tried to open the file, said that it could not open the file. So it was like, you are not telling me that this got corrupted because I kept unplugging it and moving it, right? And I thought, is the entire hard drive corrupted? No, the hard drive is fine. The hard drive got corrupted like years ago, actually, and I found out that apparently there's a whole program that you can download that can help with restoring any corrupted hard drives if you lose any of your files. Because I didn't know this, but apparently when things get deleted off of any computer hard drive, they're not actually deleted, they're just hidden, and you could use a program to recover them. So just a heads up in case this ever happens to you. So I thought, okay, whatever, this has happened to me before, I'll run the program. And I was like, I'm not even going to take my laptop with me to my because I was going to go to my parents' house because they were doing, did I even say why it was? I think I said it was my birthday, but I don't think I said why I needed the laptop. We're doing a joint celebration because it was my birthday and my niece's birthday. So my niece's birthday was last week. my birthday is this upcoming week, but this happened last week, um, on the 1st. So I was gonna take my laptop and I was gonna work on it during downtime when we weren't doing anything, just to kind of get more time to focus on it, because I was gonna be away from home for who knows how long. So at that point, I was like, all right, I'm gonna let the program run, see what it can uncover and save. I'm gonna go to this at my parents' house, and I come back. Came back, it did the whole thing. It didn't find anything. Whatever it recovered, it still cannot be accessed through the editing program. So I was like, damn, I lost that entire file. I can't go back in there and make any kind of fixes. But fucking lucky am I that I exported it with all the issues on it fixed, like the day before, and I had only gone in it just to fix the face cams. I'm like, fucking thank you that I did not lose all that work, because that took me a month's worth of editing to get that done. Because as much as I love doing a lot of these sort of group videos, they take a lot of time to edit just because I want them to be perfect. So when the March Caprice video comes out, you might think to yourself, why are certain people not facing the proper way? And that's because when I recorded it, I didn't think to move cameras around preemptively. Then when I was editing it halfway, I was like, I'll fix it later, because power of editing. And then they took away that power from me by corrupting the file. So the video the video is good to go. The video will be seen and uploaded. The face cams will unfortunately have to be facing weird ways, but whatever. We will survive. We will survive. It'll not be the end of the world. So there's that. There's a sneak peek on March Caprice lore story. Needless to say, I'm not using that editing software anymore. So when I first started editing back in 2021, I downloaded a free program called Hit Film Express. And I'm going to be completely honest with you, Hit Film Express is amazing. Like, I love this program. Like, it is such a beginner friendly. Not that I was a beginner when it came to editing, but just to have a program where it was super easy to maneuver. Like, it was very simple. Like, it was very beginner friendly. I'm very upset at not being able to use it anymore. But apparently the company that works on Hit Film Express is no longer exists, right? So no one's there to patch issues when issues arise. And recently I've noticed that two different videos that I've exported have been laggy in the very beginning. And even the March Caprice video, when I exported, had weird audio spikes just out of nowhere. It wasn't in the original video, it just added it to it, which was super weird. It was like a really loud sort of like, you ever hear when someone's fire alarm is beeping because of a low battery? It's like that, but like amplified, just in two random points of the video. And I was just like, what the fuck? And I'm like, well, this is probably a glitch in the program and no one's there to fix it at this point. And then on top of that, the file got corrupted. So I'm like, I just have to send this off sailing. Like, I can't. Like, if I can't have my videos, I can't have my files corrupted. I can't have weird low battery fire alarm beeps in it. But luckily, Humble Bundle had Sony Vegas. Well, it's not Sony Vegas Pro anymore, but it's Vegas Pro 21. And you got a permanent license through Humble Bundle. I was like, hell yeah. So I already purchased that prior to all this stuff happening, because I was like, that's pretty cool. I don't have to pay monthly for this. That's pretty dope. Hit Film was free, and then I did pay for the license, which wasn't even that much. And I ended up getting a version of it for my PC and my laptop, which I don't know if I could re-download it on my laptop now that I think about it. I might have to buy a separate license. We'll see. We'll see. I'll have to figure that out. But I'm liking Vegas Pro. It's so weird not to say Sony Vegas. It's just Vegas Pro. I'm liking Vegas Pro so far. There's some quirks about it that I'm still adjusting to, but I just like the fact that I don't have to continuously pay a monthly subscription for an editing software because I don't feel like you should. I feel like you just pay. I'll pay however much you want me to pay. I just don't want to continuously pay for it, even though it does make sense because I'll use it every day. So, like, I get my money's worth out of it no matter what. It's just, I think it's silly. I just wish that I could just pay for the program and call it a day. But that's just not how things are anymore. You always have subscription services. That's just how things are in 20, was it? No, it was like probably late 2010s, yeah, when they started implementing that. But yeah, that's the lore on the March Caprice video. That's the lore on Hit Film Express, Vegas Pro 21. Um, yeah, I probably should end this before I start talking about something else. Because I was like, I'm gonna let this go on until like at the 2 hour mark. And then I saw it was like an hour 50. I was like, you know what? We might end this before the 2 hour mark. And then I started talking about other things. Um, yeah. Oh, okay. Last thing. Follow my Instagram because you see all these posters up here? There's so many posters all around the entire room. There's a lot of non-Kingdom Hearts ones on this side that you can't see right behind you. There's a bunch. I'm posting every day on my story on Instagram a different poster and tagging the artist as well. So, because I want to celebrate artists. I love art. I love fucking the artist alley. That sounds wrong out of context. I love the artist alley. I love the artist alley. It's my favorite thing to every con to go to. And I'm going to be posting a picture of a print every day for probably a while. So go follow Instagram. If you have Instagram, check out the story. Also, I will save them in my highlights. So they will always be there for other people to see for future viewings. I've uploaded the second one today. I think the story from yesterday's already gone, but again, it's in the highlights, so you can click on it to see. And then the second one I uploaded, it's up today. Which two of them, I will post some Kingdom Hearts ones, but the last two, one is a video game one and one is an anime one. So check those out. Appreciate it if you do. Uh, the Twitch, March Caprice. I think that's pretty much it. I don't think there's really anything. I mean, there's like Twitter. If you want to follow me on Twitter, go for it. I don't I don't know I don't know how to use Twitter to be honest. So I'm not as adamant about it, but I guess it's one of my things. Twitter, Blue Sky, Threads, Tumblr. I'm on Tumblr too. Follow me on Tumblr. All the links are in my bio. And Twitch. I think I already said Twitch. I've probably said Twitch so many times. On that note, thanks for watching. I'm going to end it here before I start going on another rant about something else, which I'm sure there's something I can rant about. I could easily just look at my wall over here and pick out something to complain about. We're going to end it here. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. And I will talk to you in the next podcast episode. Bye-bye.